This is a vehicle building game set in a future Arizona, where the government has gone full authoritarian and confiscated technology from people. You play as someone trying to find your missing uncle who was apparently building machines from scrap parts before he disappeared. Now, the interesting thing here is that you can build pretty much any type of machine you want and then either pilot it yourself or control it remotely, while your character does something else, which is actually kind of neat for a building game. Thank you kindly to Brave Games for sponsoring this video. So the main gameplay works like this. You start with basically nothing and have to scavenge junk piles scattered around the desert to get materials like aluminum and titanium. You use a disintegrator tool to mine these piles, then take the materials back to fabricators where you can craft different tools and machine parts. As you explore and scan things in the world, you unlock new components to build with. So for example, you find a fuel tank at a gas station, scan it, and now you can craft fuel tanks for your machines. Building machines happens through a grid-based editor. The physics matter here because weight affects how your machine drives. You need enough engine power to move everything, and the wheels need to connect to engines or steering components properly. The editor can be a bit frustrating since you can't move parts once you've placed them. You usually have to delete and rebuild. The game also doesn't explain well which components work together. For example, the steering handlers and engines apparently don't mix, which you only figure out through trial and error. The game allows you to make simple rovers with just a seat, some wheels and an engine. Or you can also go wild with armed combat vehicles that have rocket launchers and scanners. The game even lets you build machines without seats that you control remotely, so you can send a drone ahead while staying safe. That driving can feel pretty rough with sometimes painfully slow acceleration, even on basic vehicles, and controls that can get a bit wonky. The energy management is important. Machines need fuel to run, so you have to refuel at stations or build your own fueling infrastructure at your bases. Your character also has a backpack with limited space, so you have to think about what to carry and when to deposit stuff at your base storage. Speaking of bases, you can construct your own facilities using a handheld printer tool. These bases have generators that convert fuel to electricity, storage containers for materials, and other functional buildings. The idea is to create a network of these bases across the map. The story pushes you toward infiltrating government facilities to uncover what happened to your uncle and why the government is confiscating tech. The game has a tech progression system where you need to reach certain levels to unlock better tools and components. The game has a day-night cycle and the terrain affects how your machines handle, so driving at high speed over rough ground gets bouncy. The game is clearly still a bit rough around the edges, which makes sense since it's a playtest. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.